Hey everyone, it is Tanya. Welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you are new here. Today I am back with another speed build, and we are creating a cottage for a witch in the world of Henford on Bagley, as I like to do a lot of occult builds this time of year for the Halloween season. So I am just trying to figure out a general shape right now. I just wanted it to be a cute cottage that fit into this world, and I was also trying to make it a tiny home. Not like really tiny, I wanted it to just be within one of the tiers, so somewhere under 100 tiles, which I successfully did, but it's definitely not like a micro home. It's a pretty spacious tiny home. It's a small cottage, and I think it came out really cute in the end. If you like it and you'd like to download it, it will be available in the Sims 4 gallery. You can find it under my EA ID, which is Gryphi, Gryphi, and you can also find it under the hashtag Gryphi, and that information is also in the description down below. So right now I am trying to figure out the outside shape. I knew I wanted to have a pretty prominent chimney on the outside of the house. At first I was thinking of using some walls to achieve that, but I decided to scale up this chimney item, I believe from Get Together, and put that over in the corner here. I haven't used this in a really long time, but I've used it in this way before, and I just think it looks really nice. So I was happy with that decision, and it also helped to not use extra tiles that I wasn't actually using on the inside, since I was trying to keep the tiles kind of limited here. Also, while building this, I had some really interesting glitches that happened, which we will talk about here shortly, because it was on the outside of the build pretty early on, where I was changing the swatch of the windows and it kept changing back to the swatch I had before. And then when I tried to save the game, because I thought that that was weird, it made my game crash. So I did have to redo part of this build, and you might notice like if things suddenly change colors or some items that were there before are gone and I have to replace them. That is why I did lose a little bit of progress because of that weird glitch, and it's not what I've seen before. So that was interesting. One of the things that does disappear is the wisteria and the ivy that I have on the outside of the house now. So you might see me replace those. But I really did struggle with the color scheme here. I really wasn't sure if I wanted a light brown, a dark brown, an orange, how I wanted this to look. But in the end, I did end up going with a brown and a white, and I used this wallpaper on the second floor from Snowy Escape, and I think it looks so pretty. I was really happy with that. I think it's just kind of a delicate look compared to the wallpaper that actually comes from Get Together that's in this more Tudor style. So I ended up using that one, and then I wanted to get a lot of landscaping that made this home feel really nestled into its environment. I'm building this at the top of Henford on Bagley, and it's actually on the Cordelia secret cottage lot, which is at the very top. That just made sense to me for a small witch or spellcaster cottage to be kind of tucked away at the top of the mountain by the waterfall. It's a really pretty lot. And also, for whatever reason, when it comes to building homes for spellcasters or witches in the game, I tend to go for more of this cozy cottage vibe than the items that we actually got from Realm of Magic. But I'd be interested to know if you'd like to see me build something more in that aesthetic. I have done it before, specifically in the occult townhouses I did around when For Rent came out. I did 3 townhouses, one for a vampire, one for a spellcaster, and one for a werewolf connected. And I used more of that style there, but generally when I build houses for spellcasters or witches, it's sort of this style, which I personally prefer, but I'd like to know what you think. And also what other sort of builds you would like to see this month for the month of October. I do like to do a lot of occult stuff. I like to do some Halloween themed things, obviously some autumnal builds, and Life and Death comes out later this month, so there will be some things with that pack as well. So anything before or during Life and Death release, would love your suggestions. Anyway, I rambled over a good chunk of the outside of this build. Some of the landscaping is here now. I have a large tree. I'm going to be adding a couple more a little bit later on. And I really wanted to have some sort of fence framing the front of this lot. I'm using one from Show Live Edit Objects, and then adding some mushrooms in front and some overgrown grass. I really wanted it to feel like it fit into the surrounding area, but I also wanted it to have a little bit of separation. So I just have the fence over here, and then I ended up having a log over on the side to kind of connect to the fence to give the illusion of the end of the property without it being an actual fence. And then this is the mailbox I ended up using, just one of the base game ones, and getting some more rocks over here to sort of frame out this little garden bed that I have tucked in here. I really like the tree that I used there that I scaled down and kind of shoved into the ground to look more like a bush with the red flowers on it. Also, these little trees here are gorgeous with the purple. Oh my goodness, Henford on Bagley is such an interesting world for the autumn season because instead of most of the trees turning red, they turn more of a purpley tone, which is really interesting. So I quite enjoyed building here for the autumn, but I'm sure I will build some more in other worlds as well. I feel like my go-to is usually Brindleton Bay because it's New England inspired, so it feels like home to me, but also just like the colors are beautiful, which makes sense because New England has the most beautiful fall season. But anyway, I am placing down some of these planters here. I end up moving them a couple of different times. I'm pretty sure I end up actually keeping 2 here and having 2 over on the right side of the lot next to where I have the cauldron. And then I got a little lantern out here as well, which I thought was quite cute. And then we were working on the floor plan. I actually spent forever on this floor plan and this was the final version of it. So it looks like it came together very quickly, but it actually took me a while because I wanted to make sure I had a separate bedroom, but I didn't want to feel like the sunroom area was kind of blocked off and hard to get to without going through a bedroom. So it took me a while to figure out how I wanted to lay it out. So that sunroom actually ends up being kind of like an office space. I have a desk in there and it's right off of the kitchen and dining room. And then when you first walk in, you are in the living room and there are doors to the bedroom and the bathroom in this house. It's just a one bedroom, one bathroom house, which I thought was perfect for what I was thinking of for this sim. I was just thinking it was a single spellcaster, but you could definitely have more than one sim here if you'd like to. I also think it'd be really cute if they had a cat or any kind of familiar, since your spellcasters can have those in the game. I think that could be fun. It would also be really interesting with the new Life and Death pack if we had a crow. I'm so excited to see more about that. I'm very curious about it, especially the new death type, death by murder of crows. I love it. It's always nice to have more of that kind of stuff in the game, and it should be really fun to build with that. I feel like that's all I can think about right now. That's just kind of how it always goes when a new expansion pack is announced, though. That's all I can think about until it comes out, is it? And then when it comes out, it's all I want to play with. So I'm very excited. But anyway, I am furnishing the kitchen now. I'm using the new curtains that came with the, oh goodness, what is that called? The Storybook Nursery Kit. I think they are really pretty. I loved the green tone. And of course, I scaled down and raised up one of these little cauldrons from the Spooky Day stuff pack to fit in the kitchen. I always like to do that in my spellcaster houses. So it looks like you have one that you can use like that's a regular size, not the jumbo ones like I placed outside. Those are a little bit harder to use on the interior of builds, but luckily, there's a lot of outdoor space here, and then I changed the fridge and the color of it so many different times. It doesn't end up staying that dark green color as beautiful as it is. I just felt like it was kind of clashing with the rest of the room. It was a little bit too dark. I definitely went for lighter colors in here, but I did end up using a lot of color in this build. I know it doesn't look like it yet, but that's because I end up injecting a little bit of that color shortly after this, as I was realizing it was a little bit too beige and cream colored. So I'm pretty sure the fridge does end up being a beige or a cream, but the rest of the space gets some more color with like some fun rugs and a lot of other clutter in here. Or maybe I kept it that green color. That looks really nice. I'm hoping that I kept it that way, but I'm not sure. But I did add this really pretty red rug from the paranormal stuff pack, and also got a frame over here. That one is from Realm of Magic. So I did end up using some Realm of Magic in here. I just didn't model the interior after that pack specifically. I went for more of a little cottage that's a little bit run down. So I ended up using some werewolves like this table that I have here. And then I created a collage up above the table with a couple of paintings as well as a clock and a cork board, which I hung up a couple of postcards on. And I think I cut out the placing of it, but there's a postcard that I guess has a sim riding a horse. But the entire time The Sims 4 has been out, I've thought that the one of a sim riding a horse was a scarecrow the entire time. So I don't I don't know why that is. Because I was actually building this when one of my friends was over. We were kind of like hanging out while I created this. And I was like, oh, I'll get the scarecrow one. And I placed it down. And she goes, Tanya, that's a sim riding a horse. And I felt very silly. So let me know if anyone else has seen that postcard the way I have, because I feel a little bit embarrassed by that one. Anyway, I do have an extra chair over in the corner that I put a plant on. I also figured out a lighting fixture in here, and then we are moving on into the sunroom office space. I wasn't really sure what I was going to put in here at first. It could be another seating room. You could put like an easel in here and have this be for an artist sim, but I decided to have this really pretty desk from the Crystal Creations pack, and I cluttered it up with some books and plants, a little light, and I end up also adding a vertical planter in here, the ones that came with Eco Lifestyle. I thought it'd be a nice place to have some additional plants growing, as I was imagining this sim was probably pretty into that, hence why I added some of that outside. And then we are going to be working on the living room. I do end up using this couch from Crystal Creations as well. I think it's really pretty. I loved the cream color of it paired with this chair, and I end up getting some pillows on there. And then I'm also cluttering up the like TV stand over here, which is a coffee table from Growing Together. I don't end up keeping that TV. I end up going for an older style one, and I've just been loving using the Grimaphone, which is this new stereo that came from the Reaper's Rewards event that's going on right now. I think it's a really pretty item, and I just can't stop using it, so you'll probably be seeing it in quite a few builds this month. I just think it's really nice. And of course, I got a bookcase over here. We should be getting some pillows up on the couch and then decorating the wall behind it. And you'll see another item that I'm going to be adding here shortly from Werewolves as well, which I just think is so pretty and perfect for this house. There's this gorgeous like wooden mirror that has shelves in it with crystals on it from Werewolves. And so that's going to be on the wall behind the couch in a little bit. And we're also having a table over here by the entryway for your normal like entryway clutter. But here is that mirror. It's so beautiful. I love it so much. It's definitely like a favorite item in the game that I don't get to use that often, but it was perfect for this one. And here are the couple of items that I put by the entryway. There's a little stool under the table, which I thought was quite cute, and a bunch of items from Paranormal just for some fun clutter. There's a crystal ball, a hand statue, and a bird. I just think that the clutter looks really nice here and worked really well for the theme. I'm hoping that a lot of the decor we get from Life and Death also matches really well with the other occult type packs we have, like Vampires, Werewolves, Realm of Magic, Crystal Creations, Paranormal. I'm hoping it all works really well together. I have a feeling it will, but I can't wait to mix all of those. But moving on into the bedroom now, I really wasn't sure what bed I wanted to go for in here, so I ended up changing it a couple of different times. I'm starting here with one of the beds from Cottage Living, but I do end up actually using one from, I believe, Growing Together. I might be wrong on that. I don't remember what pack the bed I used is from. It's one I really like and I've been using a lot more recently, but I couldn't tell you what pack it's from. This one. Okay, let's see if I can see the icon. I think it is Growing Together. I think it's really pretty. I loved the colors. It really helped me figure out how I wanted this room to look based on the colors. I was able to swap out the rug and add some other clutter items. I also ended up using the collage of art up above the bed from Paranormal and getting some other clutter from both that and Crystal Creations. And I've also used a lot of this stack of books throughout this build, which is from the Book Nook kit. I just think it's a really nice piece. I also, of course, got a wand in here. I often forget to do that when I create homes for spellcasters because I don't play as them very often, so I forget that they have wands. So I decided to add that here as well. There's like a nice case to put it in. And I believe I also got a potion and another painting up on the wall. And then we should work on the other side of the room, which actually ends up having a wardrobe that is in a black color. There were so few matching wood swatches that worked with the style I wanted to go for in this space. So I just kind of had to embrace that they weren't going to match. And I added the succulent wall over here as well, which is an item from Seasons that I almost never use. I just thought it was really cute and I needed something at the end of the bed, but this is going to be our one and only bathroom, just using a sink from Horse Ranch because it matches the style of the counters in the kitchen, which is what I used in there. And then I am just getting some clutter in here. It ends up being a pretty simple bathroom. It's just got a standing shower, toilet, and sink, and a little bit of clutter. I added this little side table from Jungle Adventure that has some folded up towels in it. And I added some more towels on top, as well as this really pretty planter from Cats and Dogs with a candle and a couple of like bathroom essential items from the bathroom clutter kit. Also added a plunger, a standing mirror from Jungle Adventure, and an apron. And then I swapped out the mirror above the sink for a darker wood tone to kind of bring in the same wood tone that I have as the organizer above the toilet. It really just was the build of trying to make the wood tones work, but we are back outside now to finish up the landscaping. I added an outdoor trash can, some extra flowers, and we're going to get some low-lying flowers as well, and plenty of terrain paint, just trying to finish it off and get those last touches in, like some additional planters over here by the cauldron and a couple of other things. But that is pretty much it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more, and click that bell to be notified when I upload. And a massive thank you to my YouTube members for all of their support. If you'd like to become a member yourself, you can click the join button down below or check out the link in the description. But with that, we are going to head on into screenshots. Please let me know what other builds you'd like to see this month, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye, everyone.